Hey, what's up, everybody? Bro Trio here, and I have beaten Sea of Stars, and I'm here to talk about it and tell y'all all about it. Real quick, the beginning of this will be spoiler-free, so if you want to hear spoilers, that's going to come later, but right now, we're not going to really spoiler anything for you. So I'll just give you my quick general thoughts, and then you can go experience the game and come back and listen to the spoiler section. But as with all our powwows, I'm going to start with the negatives first and then end with the positives, so we end on a positive note. And Sea of Stars is overall pretty great. It's a kind of spiritual successor, like inspired by Chrono Trigger and a bunch of other like old school RPGs on like the Super Nintendo. Like you have the Chrono Trigger like art style, overworld enemy battle combat.
It looks so good. It looks.
You
so
have
good.
the Super Mario RPG like timed mechanics where like you know you hit A and Mario hits them twice with the hammer. You have that still in Sea of Stars, and everything else is basically just inspired by like Final Fantasy and other JRPGs and the like. And like we said, Sea of Stars looks incredible. Like the art design is probably one of my favorite things. But I'll get back to that. Let's start with the bad. Well, nothing's really bad. It's kind of like nah. Yeah. So number one is it's kind of like shallow RPG, like similar to Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger didn't have too many like status effects and anything like that crazy, but the RPGs like typically you think status effects, strategy. You can poison enemies, you have their weaknesses and stuff like that. You can do that. There's still weaknesses, but there's no status effects. And like one character straight up has like venom daggers, and you're just like, oh yeah, that's poison. No, it's just an element. That's it. So that was a little disappointing. Also, the equipment doesn't really have any effects. Like it's just like this is higher attack. Or this is more defense. Like, there's like little like accessories you can get that have effects, but it's not just like, yeah, this sword does more damage and it has like a 1% chance to insta kill an enemy or something.
What
like
element
that.
Does the like kind of chubby or whatever friend from the demo?
He doesn't have any element.
Oh, I was hoping he'd get like rock or something.
Nope. And then, without spoiling anything, the ending and the true ending are kind of sort of lackluster. And then for the negatives, this was known beforehand that this is in same universe as The Messenger, the other game Sabotage made. That was awesome, a ninja game. It ties in with that, but it's just kind of there. Like, it's not like I don't know. It's just there. Like, you're just like, yep, this is the Messenger spot. The music is Messenger, but a rearrangement is okay. Like, there's not... And that's it. Like, there's no real point to it. It's not like you become a messenger at the end and start the messengers or anything. It's just there. And then...
So, like, the shopkeep's not there or anything?
No.
Oh, man.
No. But, also... Another neutral. It's not overly easy, but it's pretty easy. I died like maybe like 2-3 times, and once you get the hang of it, like the lock system takes some getting used to. But once you get it down, it becomes pretty easy. It could have been a little harder in parts, but overall, relatively easy. So now for the spoiler-free positives. Incredible art style. It's amazing. Incredible music. It sounds amazing. And it's super nostalgic for RPGs, as we talked about. I love nostalgia. I love old school RPGs. They're some of my favorites. So seeing this out in 2023 was great. Overall, it does have an interesting story. Although, as I said, the ending's not the greatest. But the journey is pretty interesting and entertaining. One of the characters, Sarai, is the absolute best. I love her, and I will talk more about her in spoiler positives.
That poison dagger?
Yeah, venom
dagger.
figured. And The late game goes in a crazy new direction that I did not see coming, and I absolutely loved it, and it kind of pinpointed one of my favorite genres. So that's the spoiler-free stuff. Yeah, I'll get into that later. If you don't want any more spoilers, click off now. If you don't care and you're intrigued as Scotty is, you can stay for it, but I'm about to spoil some some Sea of Stars stuff here. Now that we're in the spoilers, Sarai has one of the most... It's the character, I think, that has, like, the most adjectives of any character, like, ever. Because she is a venom-infused assassin, pirate, cyborg, portal assassin.
Portal?
Portal. Like,
Portal.
she cuts holes in time and goes through them like Portal. Like, it's awesome.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I told you, she's the best.
I remember seeing you play as her.
Yeah, she's absolutely cool. Like, she's crazy cool. Okay. So, full-ass spoilers time. Starting off with a late-game character that is also awesome with Beasts. Beasts.
Is he electric?
No, he's mist. He's like a soul that was missed. So it's B''ST, like Beasts.
I was thinking Bzzzt.
No, Beast is his limit break is called Altered Beast, like Altered Beast. So I'm going to refer to him as Beast. He is very interesting how he's made. He's a high-ass defense, special defense, or magic defense character, and he doesn't have a weapon. Like, his weapon are his fists, but
It's cool.
he gets stronger attack based on his defense. So if you get better armor for him, he gets better attack.
Oh,
it's awesome.
that's cool.
Really cool.
He is a soul that was invisible until the alchemist turned everything visible, and now he's a vapor soul. But the alchemist created living glass as his shell, so now he's all goopy and sploopy, but he's made out of glass, and it's awesome.
What? Hang on. So he's incorporeal.
Yes, like he can
But
basically...
he lives in flexible goop glass?
Flexible goop glass, yeah. Like, one of his attacks is literally he elbow drops him. So he'll turn into a ball, bounce, and then elbow bop him. Elbow drop him.
In his glass?
And he's living glass. It's awesome as shit. Big ass positive for him. Valair, Sarai, and Biz are my three main characters. Like, they were awesome.
Which one's Valair?
That's the moon lady.
Okay.
Lunar monk is what she's called. But so you have Valair, Sarai, Biz, what's his name? Sunboy.
Go with Sunboy.
Sunboy and Reshan, the alchemist. The alchemist is like an immortal being that you encounter on your quests to fight the Fleshmancer, and they're both like immortal alchemists that were like buddies, but then they made like a code. They're just like, hey, I won't interfere with your shit if you don't interfere with mine. So Reshan is just like, well, he's getting a little out of hand. I won't break my code, but I'll help you in the meantime with some stuff. So he does he's like super magical attacks. And he does like some cool alchemy stuff. But yeah, those are the main characters, and they're all pretty good. And you can swap them out on the fly in combat, which is awesome.
Is there any incentive to?
Oh God, yes. Okay. So I should have said this in the spoiler-free section, but the locks system is very interesting. Like, each enemy is weak to something or not, naturally. And, like, you can get different equipment that tells you if they are or not. But whenever they're casting a spell, they get, like, two fires and 2 moons above them. And then you have to hit them with 2 fire attacks and 2 moon attacks, and you stop them from casting the spell. That's where it gets a little easy once you know how to game the system. So, like, Sometimes it'll pop up and they're going to be going in like one turn and it's 2 moon attacks. And you're just like, well, I can't do this attack. But if I do Moonerang good enough, I can hit them twice with the moon and stop them from casting a spell. So most of the time, the spells are pretty strong too. Even for like the regular enemies, like they can get kind of crazy. So the lock system is where you really want to swap out characters and get everything going. I've already talked about her a lot, but I'm going to talk about Soraya a little bit more because she is awesome. And eventually, the story gets to the point where you have to cross the Sea of Stars to stop the Fleshmancer. So you go through like time and space to a different world.
Is he just a necromancer?
But with flesh.
That's what they all are.
Oh no, it's like flesh piles. Like there's one.
I was gonna ask if he made like Frankenstein monsters.
No, there's one kind of. There's one enemy that's called like oafs or something. It's like it's an acronym, so it's OAFS or something like that. Stands for Oops All Feet, because it's a monster just made out of feet.
Oh my god.
Yeah, his whole lair and everything. What? All the Fleshmancer stuff is kind of gross, because there's literally one
all feet?
One enemy's called like the Bio Pile. And it's literally just like a pound of flesh with some teeth and stuff on it. Okay, so Sarai's world is where the Fleshmancer resides. He ruined this world by sinking the moon into the ocean and covering up the sky with like
how?
Fog. I don't know. He Fleshmanced it. I don't know.
He just got a lot of skin and lassoed it. How did he?
I don't.
The moon is made of flesh.
I think they explained it, but I've forgotten already. But he also like basically fogged out the skyline so the sun can't make it through.
There's just a lot of skin up there.
So solar. No, not solar. What are they called? Solstice warriors. There's a solar, lunar one, and they're born on like the summer solstice and lunar eclipse and stuff like that. They have the power to stop the Fleshmancer. And they get souped up power during like an eclipse. So he did that to 1, exterminate them, and 2, there can't be an eclipse without the moon. So now he's like all powerful there. This world is awesome. This is where I found out my favorite genre is like the techno fantasy.
Oh yeah, that is a good genre.
Because it's a lot like Robo's Land and Chrono Trigger, where it's just desolate, dead, but there's techno stuff. But there's also fantasy stuff. Because it's where you find out Sarai is a cyborg, because she...
It's like the coolest part about Onward was that it was like modern day stuff, but it's also like centaurs.
Or what was that Will Smith movie?
Oh shit.
With the like fairies and
it was like Blacklight or something weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The setting was cool. The movie was not that great.
But this is future and fantasy.
Oh, that's even better.
Kind of leaning more into future than fantasy too. But like Sarai lives in a group of like cyborgs, and then there's a bunch of like factories making machines for the Fleshmancer to put his like energy in, make his lieutenants and stuff. It's really cool. It's awesome. Very desolate, like I said. We've got a really cool, like, sad vibe going for that whole world, because everybody's just like, what's the point? We're all gonna die soon anyways. And it's just like, oh man, we gotta change this.
So is it like when you get in the healing machine at Chrono Trigger and it's like, yeah, but you're still fucking hungry?
Kind of. It's a lot like that.
So this is like, this machine will keep you alive forever.
Yeah.
But you'll never eat again.
Well, most of them are robots anyway, so they can't eat anyways.
Yeah. Eat screws.
Yeah. But that's also where you fight the best boss in the game, in my opinion, is the Meduso bot. It's just called Meduso. It's literally like a floating Medusa head that's technological. Like, it's really cool. And it's one of the only bosses that does this. Like, all the bosses will get like battle damage and get like kind of saggy whenever they get near death, like Chrono Cross.
I always love when bosses have like different looks when they're tired.
But the Meduso
You're like,
takes it to a whole other level because slowly throughout the fight, one, it heals itself a lot. It has a lot of locks that keep you on your toes and make you strategize a lot. But periodically throughout the fight, the Meduso's face melts off. So it starts as like a human-looking face, and then like halfway through the fight, like the eye starts sagging down, like you can see like the muscles underneath it, and then the muscles start melting down, and then it's just the skull. It's really cool. The first final boss is really good because it's very cool effects because, I should tell y'all this. Halfway through, your mentors, the previous Solstice Warriors, betray you and side with the Fleshmancer.
Why?
Yeah, because they were forced to be Solstice Warriors. Everyone who is one is forced to be it because they're just like, you gotta stop the Dwellers. They're gonna destroy the world. So they had to do that.
what are the Dwellers?
Yeah.
Fleshmancer creations that he puts like a flesh seed in the world and then it grows until it becomes like a world destroyer and will destroy the world.
Shit.
Yeah.
This Fleshmancer is a serious threat.
He is. and
that sounds like a minor villain from Act 1.
Yeah.
Like from a game like this, where you're like traveling the cosmos, just the Fleshmancer.
Yeah, it's like
was the Necromancer.
Like the first thing where you just like watch out for
there was a Necromancer in this?
Yeah, there's a Necromancer. Necromancer and Fleshmancer. They're different. Necromancer's all about bones and zombies. But now the final boss is the solar warrior that was betrayed you because the lunar one was just like, I don't want to fight the kids or anything. I'll just what do you do for him? I don't know. He's basically just like, let the kids survive and just let me go somewhere else. And then he's like, all right, you can do that. And then the Fleshmancer's like, now you, solar warrior, you are too strong. And she's like, yeah, I want to get more powerful. And he's like, okay, come on, we're gonna power you up, and you're gonna be the final boss now. So she is the final boss. So it's kind of cathartic that you like are fighting your mentor that's been mutated and transmogrified into this like monster. It's a really cool final boss. It was awesome. Let's see. And then okay, so let me go back and tell y'all this. I forgot about this. Whenever you are fighting, like, you get, like, super betrayed by your mentors and everything, the Fleshmancer shows up. And, he just, like, does everything I just told you.
That word never gets better.
And then your team is just like, we don't give a shit if you are on his side. We're going to stop you and beat your ass. And then, you do, or you fight him or something, and then he's just like, I grow tired of this. And then he's like, gonna just leave. And then Garl, the chubby warrior cook guy, he is basically just like, calls him like a punk or something like that. So then the Fleshmancer is just like, I don't like that. Turns around and is gonna shoot at y'all, but then Garl jumps in the way. And in doing so, he starts to die. And then the alchemist gives him a flask of borrowed time so he can prolong his death, but he still will die.
Oh, man.
Like, he has time to do one last task, and then he's dead. So his last task, of course, as Garl will do, he wants to bake a giant loaf of bread for a dragon in a volcano.
Of course.
So was that his way of living forever? Or like...
No, he just wants to do it. Basically, you want to, like, please this sleeping dragon that's been wrapped around this mountain for eons, because the mountain has holes in it, so it plays a lullaby and puts him to sleep. But you gotta wake him up for some reason. To get to the Sea of Stars, basically, is the end goal, is to wake him up. And then you end up baking this big-ass loaf of bread, and then he's like, okay, cool, we're friends now. And then Garl ends up naming him, and he names him Wentworth, which is the sky dragon from The Messenger. That's the main big tie-in for it.
See, that's where you come up with an impossible task. When you just live forever. It's like, yeah, I just want I want to, like, I don't know, walk on the sun. And then you just don't do it.
Even though he did have the flask of borrowed time, he still was getting in, like, severe pain, kind of being, like, torn from reality.
Okay, yeah,
So,
never mind. You
yeah.
bake that cake or whatever, dude.
Yeah. So you do that, and that was awesome. That was a cool thing. And then...
and that woke the dragon up, was eating bread?
Yeah, and then you go to Sea of Stars, solve, like, Sarai's village and stop the Fleshmancer. But then, after you beat it, you fight the Solar Warrior, who is the Fleshmancer's first lieutenant. You don't actually fight the Fleshmancer, and it's like, this is weird. But then, you beat the game, and it's just like, okay, something's going on in this one location with all these crystals that didn't do a damn thing the whole game. But now they do something. So you go talk to the crystals, and it's basically just like, hey, go catch all the fish, open all the treasure chests, and, like, basically complete the game and come back here. So if you do that, you basically get, like, the time egg from Chrono Trigger. You can go back in time and save Garl.
Oh, cool.
So you do that, you go save him.
Does that save everything from past that point? So you didn't fight your mentor if you saved Garl?
Right. Yeah.
So the Fleshmancer's just dead right there when he should have killed Garl.
No, and stuff. It still progresses. So basically, in a also, like, same spirit as Chrono Trigger in a way, like
nothing matters almost.
Well, no, okay, so you instead of having, like, a doll that steps in the way for him, it's Beast, because he can take the form of Garl, so he does that, and then it's just like, Garl's dead. Let's bury him, and then you do, and then you dig him up later, and it's Beast, because he's just was Garl, and he's like, yeah, that was a good nap, but I'm good.
Okay, I was gonna say, if Beast dies, then that's not worth it.
But, so you get Garl back.
Speaking of Beast, you didn't mention it earlier, but when
yeah.
you're doing certain tasks, he changes form, like when you're running and stuff.
Yeah, when you're running, he's running like normal. When you're crossing, like, a tightrope, he turns into a wheel. When you're climbing up, like, vines, he turns into a slug. When you're swimming, he turns into, like, a bottle and stuff like that.
Oh my god.
The best one is when you're sidling, like a thin cliff, like, he turns into a crab.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
he's the best already.
He is the best. Okay, so you save Garl, and you have the full-ass party now. And Garl never had a super move, which is basically like this game's summons. Like,
now it's bread.
No, now it's Wentworth.
Dragon! Bread Dragon!
That does every single element and damage type.
So Garl is the most powerful then.
In a sense, yes, but you only really get him for one fight, which is against the Fleshmancer. Which is kind of easy. Because, like, he's just kind of there. Like, if you know...
you got Wentworth. You fucked him up.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like...
I misunderstood. I thought you meant you had to fight Wentworth.
Oh, no.
Because
he
you
ate the bread.
didn't bake him bread in
No.
this timeline or something.
No, he's already got the bread and everything. But, yeah, basically, the true final boss is the Fleshmancer, and he's just kind of easy. Like, he has a lot of locks, and if you don't do him, he does some powerful attacks. But if you just know how to change your stuff around and, like, break his locks and tank his attacks, like, he's not really that hard. Like, it kind of lasts a while, but ultimately, it's not, like, super hard or anything. Which was kind of upsetting. And then, this was the worst part. When you beat the Fleshmancer, he just kind of leaves. Like, so, whenever you enter the Flesh Fortress, Reshan, the alchemist, is just like, hey, I sign an oath, I can't be a part of this, so I'll just leave my puppet here. So you still have the character, but, like, the actual character isn't there. It's kind of weird. But,
kind of like a Kate Sith type of thing?
Kind of, yeah. So he goes back to, like, his, like, library or something to research something or whatever. But you beat the Fleshmancer, and then Reshan comes out of, like, a portal and he's just like, hey, buddy, come on. And then they just leave. That's it.
Reshan and the Fleshmancer?
Yes, because they were old friends that, like, kind of like, what is that? Like, kind of like Obi-Wan and Anakin, where they were like friends, but one turned bad. It's kind of like that.
And he was just like
Dr. Light and Dr. Wily.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, he literally helps them up, and then they leave through a portal, and then everybody's just like, oh, I guess that's it. Okay, see ya. And then that's it. Like, it's just kind of weird. Like, yeah. And then the ultimate secret, like, ending thing is not really an ending. But if you gather all the collectibles, like, you get this one thing that shoots into the sky, and it's like, you'll find this out later. Basically, it leads to...
Does it say that?
Kind of, yeah.
Come back later.
It lets you access, like, the developer room, where you can talk to all the developers and stuff like that. And that does have the shopkeep from The Messenger, with his theme music, too. But he kind of just talks to you. He's just like, hey, you beat it. Here's the developer room. Like, it's not like he's like, yep, that's his Messenger now. He's just there. Like... And then the final negative, I want to say, I kind of did this a little backwards, is completing the game gets a little annoying. Like, it's a lot of, like, hunting down, like, things. Like, you can get, like, a little parrot that'll tell you just like, hey, there's still shit here. But he'll only say, like, certain things. So he'll say there's a conch in here, which is one of the collectibles, or there's a treasure chest here. But he'll either say that and then the same thing again, and he doesn't tell you how much you're missing.
Oh.
He just tells you something is there. So it can get a little annoying there, but not too bad. And then Garl also gets pretty annoying. He is the reason the main two characters get kind of underdeveloped, which is annoying. And he's pretty much like...
How's he the reason for that?
Because he gets so much screen time.
Oh.
Like, he dies, and then he comes back, and that's like a whole ass, like, quest to do. And he's kind of like a one-note character. Like, it's a pretty good note, but it gets annoying after a while. Because he just... Basically, imagine Goku's love for fighting and food, but swapped. So he's all about, like, cooking for people and shit. And he still likes to fight, but only to, like, protect his friends. And he's just like, hey, here's an apple. We're best buds now. We shared an apple together. And it's just like, oh, God, this again. Like, come on.
He's just a positive, fun
Okay,
guy.
he does it with every single person in the thing.
He
like,
just loves everybody.
I know, and it's annoying. Like, there's no one that hates everybody enough to balance him out. Like, Sarai kind of does, but she doesn't. She's mainly just
she
stoic.
looks like a snake. If I looked like a snake, I'd be upset too.
And then, so yeah, he gets a lot of the screen time for it. So, like, the main two do have personalities, but they don't get, pun intended, fleshed out enough.
Ugh, Fleshmancer just bothers me.
But, yeah, so ultimately, like, I really like the game. I like the first ending a lot better than the final true ending, because, one, the final boss of the original ending was more challenging, and then I don't know, I just didn't like how abruptly the true ending was. Like, I felt like it needed a little bit more, but ultimately the look, soundtrack, adventure, and fighting system are like way good to keep you going. Like,
way good.
That's about all I can say. Like, it was way good. If you like JRPGs, you will like this game. Like, it could have a little bit better plot and a little bit better character development, but ultimately it was pretty solid. I would give it an 8 out of 10. Like, it was very fun, kept me going a lot, and there was some sections, like, I literally, like, couldn't stop playing. Like, once I went to Sarai's world, I was just like, this just got real good. Like, I gotta keep going, and stayed up till, like, 4 a.m.
I remember that, because I woke up and you were still going.
Yeah, like, I couldn't stop. I was like, this is awesome. Like, I'm fighting a duck that lays landmines now? Like, this is crazy.
How much flesh was that made of?
Well, that was
a future thing or a Fleshmancer thing?
That's a future thing. There's, like, this weird bird council.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
is Sarai a bird?
No, she's not a bird. These are just birds. Like, there's a duck on the council. There's, like, a robin or something.
Are they robots?
No, they're not. And then there's another bird. I couldn't pinpoint what it was. It looked kind of like a bat, but I don't think it was. And then there was a weird other bird you freed, and then they were like, why'd you free this bird? He was in prison for a reason. And this is another reason why the main characters didn't get fleshed out enough. Because, like, in the Fleshmancer's fortress, like, there's, like, a bomb-rigged, like, flesh, like, podium or something. That they're just like, we have to destroy this to get further. And then they're like, well, you can't slice the bombs fast enough. You can't do that. And then, Sunboy is just like, yeah, I'm very fast. I can do it. I've got the power of the sun on my side. And then they're like, you're not fast enough. You can't do that. Then this random-ass bird you saved is just like, I'm fast enough. And he does it and then leaves. And it's just like, why not let the main characters have this win? Like, why give it to this bird?
I see what you're talking about, yeah.
Like, why? It was baffling. Like,
all right.
Ultimately, very fun game, very interesting, like, subject matter and journey and everything. And some really good characters, but I wish the final, like, main characters were really, really good. But ultimately, they just kind of become gods, and then you have to shoot them up in space with a big-ass flesh dragon, and it's awesome.
What? What the fuck are you talking about?
So, we've been Bro Trio. Thanks for watching.
No. Did you just... What are you talking about? Is that from the Messenger?
No, that's from the game. From Sea of Stars.
What did you do?
Is that
basically, like, the legend goes, any Solstice warrior can, like, ascend to godhood and become, like, lunar and solar, like the solar and lunar gods or something like that. And your characters do that, basically, because Garl dies, they go Super Saiyan, and then that basically translates to you can fly on the overworld map now. It's not like they get, like, a fast power boost or anything. They do get their, like, limit break, like, super special attacks, but ultimately you can just fly now.
What's the flesh dragon? That's
okay. So it's like this world eater. I don't know if it's actually flesh dragon.
Well, most of them are.
But I'll show you later.
Yeah.
It's one of the most detailed sprites like I've ever seen. Like, it's massive.
That thing.
It sprawls like 4 screens, and it's super detailed. Basically, Sunboy and Moon Girl turn into balls of solar and lunar energy, and then you have like 2 balls, and you're going side to side shooting like a shoot 'em up, kind of like the Smash Brothers like credits ending, because like the credits are happening while you're doing it.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Yeah. It was weird and interesting. Like, that's their goals now, is to like patrol the universe, taking out threats like that, because they're gods. And then they're just like, hey, we'll pop back in every now and then. And then they're like, hey, what's up, Garl? We came back for your birthday. He's like, I'm 80 now.
Really? You were trying to end this. This got crazy.
And this was all the ending, like the true ending. Like, the fun part, like, that is good. Like,
yeah.
I just didn't like
it just wasn't a satisfying,
and Fleshmancer just piecing out. They're just like, yeah, we're gonna go. I'm gonna give him a rough scalding. But like, seeing Garl get to experience his life and become like elder of the village and stuff like that.
So just like, we're back now.
That was
like,
very happy.
Was he mad that he was 80?
No.
Oh.
But yeah, ultimately, very good game. Before I drop any more bombshells, I'll end it there so I don't give Scotty a heart attack. But Sea of Stars is highly worth playing. 8 out of 10. Definitely wishlist it. Get it as soon as you can if you want a good game. It's not even that super long. I think it took me like maybe 50 hours total.
As soon as there's a lull, that is like,
yeah. I have to
experience this nonsense.
It's awesome.